I am Travis from Coheed And Cambria. I play the guitar, and I'm going to talk about the two primary guitars I have with me right now in the in this European tour, short European tour of festivals. But they're actually my two primary guitars that I've used on pretty much everything lately. I think it was 2000. It was 2008. I actually ordered this custom Black Beauty from Gibson, and they really hooked me up, gave me artist price. The funny thing is I fell in love with this guitar, which I played before. I was always in love with a Black Beauty. I always wanted one. I always wanted a custom Black Beauty, and I had asked them to do the key work, in the body like that. So I'm super excited to get that. And it's when they were still very generous. They said if there was any other guitar that I had tried out, and I always wanted a gold top, but I had tried out this traditional when I was at a Guitar Center, and I fell in love with it. And basically what happened is I was able to get this guitar from Gibson with this guitar pretty much free. So I was just like, blown away by that. And I was like, this will still be my favorite guitar. But no, this turned into my favorite guitar. And it's a traditional, but I've played like, standard gold tops from classic gold tops, let's put it that way. And this guitar is still my favorite that I've ever played. So this guitar I used on pretty much the whole new album. We did a lot of stuff live, and when we did it live, I used this guitar. This guitar sounds incredible. What I basically do live is this is my standard tuning, and this guy is half step down. No disrespect to this guitar. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say other than, I always wanted to play Les Paul since I was a kid. Like most kids, that grew up to classic rock, classic metal, they were like the main guitars that you'd see a lot of artists using. And so, basically that bland story of I saw Jimmy Page or I saw Mick Ronson using it or I saw somebody like that growing up, and it was like I'm always going to want to play that kind of guitar. But now being an older man, I am fucking old. Being an older man, I realized that I did pick the right guitar. I don't know what else to say.
Hi, I'm Claudio Sanchez from Coheed And Cambria, and this is my live rig for touring. Exhibit A. This guitar is a piece of shit. No, I'm just kidding. No, well, okay, so I really, to be completely honest, I'm not exactly sure. It's a Gibson, I'm guessing a 76 reissue of some sort. What I like about this guitar is it's got this cool Joker pin on it that I like to, that's about the coolest factor of this guitar. Sorry, I'm not really a gearhead, but so anyway, I guess these guys we reinstalled a new sort of high gain pickup. These are brass knuckle pickups, so they're not the original stock of the guitar. I'm trying to think of when I sort of used it on a record, and I'm not so sure I ever have, but it's definitely reliable on the road. It's a workhorse. As you can see, there's a ton of dings in it. Just gets pretty manhandled. It's a great guitar. Okay, Exhibit B. This guitar is also a piece of shit. So I'm an asshole. Same thing. We sort of put in a brass knuckle for more high gain. This guitar I picked up in, the band was on the road. I picked it up in Cincinnati at a place called Mike's Music. It was actually in pretty bad condition. I just kind of fell in love with it and did some research, and I guess it's a 1980s E2. I also have the sister Flying V, sort of matches this guy. That actually stays at home. It's more of a studio guitar. This guitar I have used in the studio. Again, I can't really pinpoint exactly when. When you're in the studio, it's just kind of run and gun, grabbing whatever makes sense for the moment and sounds good for the song. So, I'm sure there's probably a notepad somewhere in one of the studios or whatever studio that tells you exactly what was used for what song. But again, this guitar is very reliable. Both guitars feel very good in terms of their necks. They're just they just work for me on the road. I also what I really like about the Explorers are this sort of shelf that happens. For some reason, it feels like it's a rest. I don't know. I'm lazy, I guess. Okay. And then to be completely honest, I'm not so sure. We use Taylors, but this happens to be a loaner. So I'm not too familiar with it. I haven't even picked it up yet. I think we just have it out on the road because every once in a while we like to do these intimate things for some of the VIP card holders before the show. So again, I'm not too familiar with this guy. I'm sure it's great. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I've got for this run in the UK and Europe. So I'm Claudio Sanchez, and these are all pieces of shit.